All right, what's up, everybody? This is like my umpteenth time doing this today. Um, I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope your Monday is off to a good start for the rest of your week. And I'm doing fine. Everything is cool with me. All right, so this segment is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about months before, but I got caught up in everything that was going on in my life. So now I just recently watched something on TV that kind of reminded me of it. So here I am recording today. Um, Okay, so a couple of years, about a year ago, a friend of mine had told me that he thought I was a good-looking woman. He said, "You're an attractive woman," and when he said it, I kind of did a double take, and he was like, "What? You didn't think so? You don't know that?" And I was like, "No." And once he told me that, I started to kind of reflect back as to why was it that I didn't think that I was attractive, like what happened to make me not even let that kind of cross my mind. So it took me back to my childhood. It took me back to elementary school, and I would hang out with my male friends, and there were girls in the neighborhood that they would refer to as being conceited. And these girls, they dressed nicely. They were pretty according to the neighborhood standards. And these girls just didn't give these guys the time of day. And of course, now being older, I get it. There's levels to things. The guys weren't on those girls' levels, so there would be no reason to stop it into that. Some of them were rude, no, but some of them, they spoke, but they just didn't engage in anything further than that because they weren't interested, and again, not on their level. But to the guys, they were coming off as the girls were coming off as conceited, and the way that they would say it, I mean, the disdain in their voice, they just so meant it. Their face would twist up, like just real ugly. And as a girl hanging out with them, I'm saying to myself, I never want a group of guys to ever talk about me like that. So I think subconsciously what I started to do then is start working on my inner self, right? And making sure that my inside, the person that I was good, it was cool. I wanted to connect with people. I wanted to be cool with people and just have friendships. Of course, back then I was young. I wasn't thinking about connecting, but I was just thinking about I do not want to be in that list of being a conceited person on any level. And I think that kind of led to me kind of being the social butterfly that I am today, because of being around those guys at that time, at that age. And as the years went on, I would, now wait, don't get me wrong. I never thought that I was an unattractive person. I feel good about myself. It starts with yourself, You got to feel good about who you are. I like to be clean. I like clothes. I like to smell good. I'm about grooming. I like to try different hairstyles. I like funky glasses. So, but that's just the outer part. Those are just the pieces that go to the person. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is an attractive person. They just may have a good fashion sense or, anything else. So I just never put those two and two together. And of course, when you're walking, especially back in New York, walking down the street, guys would always say things like, "Hey, you sexy." I mean, no, "Hey, good looking. You look good. Oh, you a cutie pie." But I never took that seriously because I'm sure that they said it to the girl before me, and I know they're gonna say it to the girl after me. So that's just them doing their thing and not knocking that hustle at all. But I just really never thought that they were genuine when they told me stuff like that. So pushing forward, I started to hear the term sexy when describing me, and it started when I was kind of young, and back then, sex and sexy kind of went together, and it still does. But I think for me back then, it was a bad thing. I was wondering, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do to make somebody see sex when I spoke or when I met them, and when I talked or when I laughed? Like, what made them do that? And I just kept really over analyzing what I did wrong because that was never my intention. Again, I was younger when it started happening, and people would tell me as I was getting older, men of all ages, women were telling me, and they wouldn't say it loud like the guys on the corner. They would talk to me more intimately and, keep their voice down and let me know. So when they said things like that, I took it more as honesty and genuine, and that's how they just wanted me to know, how they viewed me. So I, pretty much after, a couple of years of hearing that, I put on the shoes and I wore it. And I enjoy it. Again, but I never thought, because you can be sexy and not be attractive. So I never put the two that I was attractive just because people found me sexy. I found many men over the years and women over the years to be extremely sexy, but to the eye, initially, they wouldn't be anybody that I would, holler at. Well, the guys wouldn't be anybody that I would holler at, but, I can see the way that they move, the way that they laugh, their confidence that they had, the cologne, the way that they dress, their wittiness. I mean, to me, it's like a whole bundle. Sexiness is just like a whole bunch of little things that makes up sexy, and I've seen it. So again, just because people called me that, I didn't think that, oh, I'm sexy, that means I'm cute. No, those are two different things to me, and just the other day I was watching a program. It was on Hulu, and it was under one of the prime time channels, NBC, ABC, one of those. And it was a documentary, and the title was Selling Sexy. So, bam, I just told you I'm about that sexy, right? And y'all know I'm about that hustle and making some money. So, of course, I was intrigued. And I went ahead and I took a look at it, and it was talking about OnlyFans. They were talking about OnlyFans. And I had never heard of OnlyFans before. So totally putting my age out there. When they were saying OnlyFans, I was like, OnlyFans what? Like, I'm like, this is a broken sentence. Something is wrong here. You're not saying it correctly. OnlyFans what? But that is the website. It's onlyfans.com. And they kind of describe it as an Instagram, a pornographic Instagram. So people would share pictures of them in lingerie, bathing suits. Some would push the envelope a little bit further and be, do some more revealing pictures, some to full nudity, and then others to actual sex. So they have sex with one partner, or they do group sex, threesomes, or stuff like that. And of course, the more that you push the envelope, the more people are intrigued. So they don't have followers, they have subscribers. And I saw the subscribers from like the minimum of $10 per subscription, and it's for a month, to $20 for the subscriptions. And I guess the more you pay, and then you have the options to pay more for more interactions with the individual that you are subscribing to. So you can get, text messages, you can get additional photos, you can get a telephone conversation. And I'm telling you, I can't front. When I was looking at it, I was like, yo, I could do this. Not so much for the nudity, because I could rock a lingerie, okay? And I could rock a bathing suit. So I was thinking I could do that, and I could talk to you now over the phone, but I done lost my daggone window. I'm in a relationship right now, and I'm loving my relationship. Don't get me wrong, but y'all should have told me about some daggone Just Fans back in the day. Well, not even back in the day, because, okay, so they were talking about it, and they were saying how popular it is, right? And one of the young ladies, she's 24 years old, this is a plus size young lady, and she said that when she was doing it, she was making a decent amount of money, and when she hit a certain mark, she was going to quit her job. She hit the mark, and then when she did, the pandemic hit, and she was so nervous because she didn't know how people were going to be with their disposable income with this pandemic. So she says, and the site skyrocketed. They went to their highest peak in 2020, and she said she made the most money that she's ever made since the pandemic. And which makes sense, because people are at home. Sex is a good release. Being able to be behind closed doors, you can kind of look into your fetishes a little more, find you more fetishes. And they had an array of different people, and I like that they had a variety. So one of the women that they had on the program that was on Just Fans, OnlyFans, she was nominated for 2020's MILF of the year. There were two guys, I think both of them were under the age of 35, and it was the two young ladies, one the 24-year-old plus size, and then it was a 25-year-old mechanic, and she had like these tattoos on her and everything. And the two young ladies pushed the envelope to sex. And the guys and the MILF did not. And they cut it off at certain points, which I thought was very interesting, because they had a therapist on there that mentioned, if you don't have a cutoff point, you can find yourself pushing it and pushing it even more to get more money. And the younger two definitely did that. The 24-year-old actually had a threesome, and homegirl made in 2 hours. Now, 2 hours is just what they showed, because the video people went with them, the camera people went with them, and it was 2 hours, and then they were back in the room with them, and she made $8,000 off of 2 hours. And I was like, oh, baby. Now, you're not going to catch me doing that, but I'm just saying that is very interesting how you can make that much money in a 2 hour period. And she wasn't the baddest chick ever. You know, she was not the baddest chick ever. And that's one of the things that I did like, is because in reality, people are attracted to just who you are. Not everybody has that Coke bottle shaped figure, nor do they have the money to get that Coke bottle figure. So, just showing an everyday full size person or everyday average size person, and being able to be attracted to and be able to make that money was really cool. One of the things that the therapist had mentioned, which I thought was kind of hot, is he pointed out that it is okay for people to make money off of athleticism, off of their mind with literature, their art, as far as being creative. But when it comes to being able to make money with your body, as far as nudity or sex, it's kind of taboo. And that's so true. But I do find that it's a great thing. And one of the great things about America is that you can pretty much push the envelope. I'm not always happy about that envelope and how far it's being pushed. Sometimes I think, we're out of control. But being able to be so creative, everybody's taste is not going to be the same. But to be that creative, to find these loopholes where now porn is, almost everywhere now compared to how it used to be back in the day. I thought that was very interesting. What else did I find interesting? That there was a woman, so a Hollywood person. I'm not really familiar with her, but her name is Bella Thorne, and other celebrities got on to the OnlyFans site too, and the sex workers. So that was cool, because they refer to these people as sex workers. And at first I was like, sex workers? For me, the first thing that came to my mind was, like, what was it, the Taxi Cab Confessions back in the day, and they had the prostitutes on Hunts Point in the Bronx, and those were sex workers. But these are sex workers too. And when you think about it, the times have changed, and because the times have changed, other people are now part of this circle. So these sex workers were upset because Bella Thorne had come on, and in less than 24 hours, she made, I think, $1 million plus, and they were upset because they were like, how are you gonna come onto our platform and you're already rich, and then make money and kind of take away from us, and we're working from the bottom up. And what I did like is that all three of the women that were part of this program that they interviewed from OnlyFans pretty much held their own. And what they said made a really good point. Bella Thorne, when I saw her, she was just a very, very slim white girl. And she had funky stuff now. Her hair was funky, her jewelry was funky, and she's like this, and she's just like a bad girl of Hollywood. And I can see what people are, but she's very slim. And y'all know I'm loving my plus size people, my plus size women. So to me, it was just nothing really popping with her besides maybe personality. And what she showed, she wasn't even nude, right? She had bathing suits on and some behind the scenes. So of course, I can see even more so why the sex workers would be upset. But what those three women said were, I have my following. Like the plus size woman, Bella Thorne couldn't mess with them. The mechanic tattoo lady, no, Bella Thorne didn't have any tattoos. She didn't have any curves like the other young lady. And then the MILF, they didn't feel threatened by Bella Thorne, being on the platform, which I thought was really good, because they were secure in who they were and the people that followed them and the entertainment that they brought to whoever subscribed to them. There were other celebrities on there, and I was interested in as to why OnlyFans would let them come on with just regular content and just having podcasts and not take off their clothes, because I thought that's pretty much, the origins of the site. But I guess in a sense it helps to bring people to the site and by any means necessary, and it's about money at the end of the day. And the really cool thing is there's a lot of cool things obviously because I keep saying it's interesting, it's really cool. But OnlyFans lets you keep 80% of your profit. So you only giving them 20% of the cut. So if you get your grind on and you get you enough subscribers, you are in there like swimwear. Again, super dope, super dope. I really thought that I was in the loop, but obviously I wasn't because I had no idea what OnlyFans was. And they had mentioned that Beyonce on a remix of Savage with Meg Thee Stallion, and she had said it. She mentioned OnlyFans, and when they played the snippet, of course, and when I heard it, I was like, "Yo, pew!" That bad boy went so over my head. I thought she was talking about one of her fans being her number one fan, like her only fan. I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. So I'm thinking there's probably a lot of things out there that I am not getting. But I now am aware of OnlyFans. Just like I said, wanted to share with you about the whole sexy, finding out that somebody found me to be a nice looking person, and having the whole sexy vibe, and how you can be sexy without being, necessarily physically attracted to the eye of some people, and vice versa. There's so many people that are, beautiful, to somebody's eye. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so whatever's beautiful to you may not be beautiful to the next person, but you may have a really beautiful person and their personality sucks. Okay, and they are a very ugly person on the inside, and therefore it makes them ugly on the outside. And then you have other people that kind of let themselves, shine through, and then it makes them very beautiful individuals, and brings more attention and more interest from people than the person that you would normally think just, looking at the book, looking at the cover of the book. So, one of the things that I did want to say, and it's not really attached to this, but in a way it is. Make sure that you're loving yourself, because you can get into a relationship with somebody else and not even love who you are, and then have wanting somebody else to love you, and you don't even love yourself. So make sure that you're loving yourself. Make sure that you are, as I always say, your number one priority, and spend some time getting to know who you are, whenever you're able to. Even if you're already in a relationship, take the time to find out who you are and what you like outside of your other roles, as far as being a parent and being a spouse. And get your sexy on. Get your sexy on. If anybody could sell a sexy and you get on OnlyFans, let me know if you're on OnlyFans. Like, hit me up. SugarFreeLifeCoaching@yahoo.com. I would really be interested in your experience. I went on. I signed on now. I signed up for it, right? I signed up because I like my plus size, and I want to see some BBW ladies. And again, it's not so much for the sexual link up. The links, or kind of arousal. It's just, I love the creativity. I love the attitude. I love the boldness that comes from that. So I was interested in seeing how creative women were being on this OnlyFans site without paying, because they do have some people that have some free ones. But they only showed me like really young people and really thin people. So I was like, that was kind of whack. It wasn't what I expected. And I didn't see any of the people that was on the program. I don't know if maybe they had stopped doing it, but I was just looking for an average Joe, and it was no average Joes. It was like really made up people, and they invest in it. It's like a part-time job. I know I'm all over the place, but it's like a part-time job. You really have to invest money, time, makeup, locations, outfits, especially when you start getting interactive and start talking to people. You got to make time to talk to them on the phone, text them, and entertain them, because these are your subscribers. And if they're paying to have a little bit of extra attention from you, you have to be able to make the time to do so. And the beautiful thing is they are making this their full-time job, where they're really able to come off and reach some great financial goals. One of the young lady, the youngest one, 24, I think she said she made $150,000, and I think that was in less than a year. $150,000. Now granted, she's having some sex, But even outside the sex, she's still making a decent amount of money. So again, if anybody is an OnlyFans person, if you want to share and like drop a little something down here so other people know to come visit and maybe want to subscribe, go ahead and drop that down here. I do not mind. And if you wouldn't mind sharing with me your OnlyFans experience, or if you're on any other platform and you are selling your sexy, let me know how that's working out for you. Again, that is Sugar Free Life Coaching. Sugar Free Life Coaching at yahoo.com. All right, just wanted to share and a little interested if anybody had any feedback. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, and the rest of your week. I might be back on here next in the next couple of days if something pops off in my mind, because I am only working one job this week. So hopefully I'll be back here with another subject matter, with additional subject matter. At least one more recording for before the end of the week. All right, take care, you, and as always, deuces, peace, people.